Hello, this is a timeless reading for all the earth signs together, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I am using my own tarot cards for this reading. I call them the medieval tarot cards, and we are starting with the Maiden, followed by Death, Fairy, Snake, Poison, and Thief. So there are a lot of cards that look a little bit dangerous or, yeah, like cards that you don't want to show up in your reading, but don't worry, I have a very, very positive feeling about this reading. And it indicates an ending of a very toxic situation. Maybe something felt like a stalemate, something felt like a trap, something felt like a prison. If it didn't go that far, this negative feeling of feeling trapped and extremely powerless in a situation, then at least there is an annoyance or has been an annoyance in your life, in your perception, in your feelings that was lingering for a very, very long time, maybe even for 7 years. Yeah, it can go from the level of small annoyance, something that's bothering and itching, to the level of extreme burdening, or even something that has been driving you to the boundaries of utter desperation. In this reading, I feel like there are two people at least, two main characters. One of them is you, one of them is someone else. I feel like in this reading, the Maiden card represents your energy. Also, if you're a man. So I made this Maiden card for several reasons. I will not go into every single reason or into every single metaphor or energy that can be represented by this card. In your reading, it represents a certain level of powerlessness. Like in the Middle Age, the maiden was on a lower level of society. Unfortunately, even though this card also has positive aspects in your reading, I want to focus more on the negative ones. You might have been feeling like someone who still has to be educated, like someone who has to learn a lot. The Maiden card can also stand for youth or youthfulness, in that sense that you still have to go to school or study something. Also, you have to learn in life, most importantly. That you have to develop a proper personality or character. And this all boils up here to someone made you feel this way. You might even be a lot older, more experienced in life, more experienced in your job than the other person that is here in your reading. And this person that possibly might be younger than you made you feel like this maiden, like someone who is a little bit underdeveloped, in quotes, someone who still has to learn a lot, someone who is not experienced enough in a certain field. Maybe this person thought you have a lower pay grade than them, or you deserve a lower pay grade. I feel like for most of you, this reading relates to a career or job situation, but it doesn't have to. It could also be a marriage, a friendship, a family situation, a relationship to your neighbor, even though mostly I feel like it's more someone in your professional environment, but it could also be in a personal way, that it's someone at work who doesn't necessarily degrade you by your professional expertise, but somehow by your personal expertise or by your it might be a young person thinking they know everything in life and you don't, even though you might even be decades older, for example. Even though there is also the possibility that you are literally younger than this person, but still this person is not mature. That despite being 20 years younger than this other person, you might be the kinder and more mature one. Yeah, it's very burdening. It used to be very burdening being around this person, but it's somehow also not possible to remove yourself from this person without losing something. Maybe you thought about quitting a job or leaving a situation because of this person, and then you realized, no, it's not worth it. This person cannot seriously harm me. This person can go on my nerves. This person can burden me. Yes, this person can make me feel bad, but there are other circumstances at this job or in this environment that are actually quite okay or good, and it's not worth to leave because of this arrogant person. So you might have just stayed there. The fairy represents the other person. This could be someone who is very vain. In my tarot deck here, the fairy can also have very positive aspects, but also here I want to only focus on the negative ones. Vain and arrogant. You know, sometimes people are vain because they don't think of their external appearances in a very high way or positive way, because they think something looks bad about them, so they try to make themselves look better because, yeah, they are just ashamed of how they look. But not in this case. Like, this person is looking into the mirror and he or she only sees perfection, and they want to add like some kind of golden glimmer on top of this already existing perfection. Yeah, even my budgie agrees here. So that's a huge confirmation. Yeah. So this person is also very arrogant and very convinced of their own professional expertise and talents, as well as their personal traits. Like, this person thinks he or she is the ultimate divine perfection on all levels and in all directions. This person might even be someone who is not aggressive, maybe not even passively aggressive. Might even have a very gentle voice, a very gentle way of moving, but it's throbbing with arrogance. Yeah, this might be the worst thing in your perception. You might think that this is the peak of, how do you say that, in the peak of spite or spitefulness, that exactly this person is pretending to be very humble. You know what I mean? Like, this is the most arrogant person that you have ever met, and maybe your colleagues think this way too. And on top of all that arrogance, this person is like the deep fake of humility, or of just being humble. My bird just landed on my head while saying that. Yeah, just another confirmation. Yeah, this situation was very burdening, or at least annoying. In between, before, just look at this person and look at their facial expressions. I think it says it all. Between them now is the Death card. There's a split between you and this person. Let's say you have been working in an office together and then you had to share a room, a working space. Like, there are different rooms at your office, and you had to do a shift with them on a regular basis. This will be split. No more. It's no more. You don't have to meet this person anymore at work. Even though I cannot say for everyone that this person will leave or be fired, or I don't know what will happen to this person. In some cases, or many cases, maybe this people even stays, but the shifts will be separated. Like, you don't have to meet this person anymore. Somehow I'm not feeling good anymore. I felt good throughout the whole reading. Also, when I pulled the cards, I already told you in the beginning, the reading feels very, very positive. But suddenly, like a minute ago, or a few seconds ago, I started to feel a little bit anxious in my chest and in my stomach. So this might also mirror your emotional and mental state when you learn about this change. That something's being split apart. It might make you even feel paranoid. Like, ooh, maybe you have been wearing a mask around other people and this person for a very long time, so that no one notices that you actually have a huge problem with this person. So you pretended that everything was fine, and maybe now that maybe there's a third person creating this split on purpose, or that what you might worry about, that maybe is seeing through the situation. There is a little bit of paranoia maybe here. There is also something about stonewalling, like somehow this Death card also represents your energy. Like, you will, not literally, but yeah, pretend to be dead. Emotionally and psychologically. It's also like wearing a mask. You're just playing dead. Also pretending that you do not perceive and recognize as many details about people and situations as you actually do. It's not literally like playing dumb or pretending to be blind, or, in a certain situation or around a certain person, but just leaving out details, pretending to not look at people or situations in a very detailed way. Also pretending to be extremely professional in that sense that you only focus on your work at work, but you seriously don't, which is It's like you could be someone to whom it comes very easily to pick up on feelings, thoughts, emotions, their physical movements, their body languages. Like you don't have to really focus on it. Maybe sometimes you even want to erase that kind of perception from your mind, but it's not possible. You always read into people and situations because it just comes naturally to you. But on the outside, you pretend to be someone who is not watching, who is not interpreting. This felt like it was important to say. In the second row, we have the snake and poison and thief. So these three cards, they sound like a nightmare together. And actually, when I pulled the cards, I felt like the snake represents something very positive. Not someone who is sneaky and behaving like a poisonous snake. It reminded me more of, in medicine, they use a snake in medical symbols as a metaphor for healing. The poison can also stand for medicine. There could be some kind of physical healing here for you. Something might improve or heal entirely. The snake represents an energy. I don't know where I'm getting this from. This is not coming from a logical interpretation of this card. It's just a feeling that's hitting me. The snake is someone who's delivering a very good message. And this message is the antidote to a burden. The thief is not someone in your case or in your situation stealing something. The thief is here in this reading, whenever this reading finds you. It's on one hand representing a burden. So this lower row here is finding healing, finding the antidote to a burden. And I said earlier in the reading that maybe this person will not leave, will not be fired. You might just go to different shifts or rooms. But maybe I want to correct this, what I said earlier, because I suddenly have a strong feeling that the thief at the end is referring to exactly that either you will make the decision to leave, even though you might think it's actually not fair, because you didn't do anything wrong. This person is the pain in the A, not you. And maybe many people will are thinking about this person this way. Yeah, but maybe you will find something better. So this is one possibility. But I feel like what my stomach's telling me, it is most likely that the other person will leave. And I feel like in the most cases, or that's what I hope, is that this person will not leave voluntarily. Maybe someone will realize, understand that this person is a burden to the company, to the colleagues, maybe even to the boss. And maybe this person will have to leave. Maybe this person also has to leave due to private circumstances, so that something in their private life is forcing them to leave. Which is a little bit more, I mean, if this person caused a lot of pain and injustice to you, I feel like, yeah, on one hand, you would be glad if this person would leave, even if they would quit voluntarily and go to a better job. You could be glad that this person is gone, but it also would feel a little bit unfair. Now this person, they behaved like a pain in the eye for a very, very long time, and they just hurt people, and then they go off to a much better place. It's not fair. So yeah, I feel like it will be a more just solution here, that the person will be held accountable and for how they are and for how they treat others, even if they are doing it very undercover. So I feel like it's a huge relief here, like dropping something. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Sun card. So this is also a huge confirmation here that everything will be fine, that this situation will soon be over. And yeah, I feel like there's a sense of pride here on your behalf as well. It's not an arrogant or negative, selfish kind of pride. It's just a subtle, healthy kind of, I'm proud that I lived through this situation. I never gave up, and somehow, yeah, I made it through this situation. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for watching.